up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice and Dragons, we have a Kickstarter preview for you. This is Cosmic Voyage, published by Savania Games and designed by Andy Copsey. Now, the Kickstarter is currently running right now, so take a look down below in the video description if you want to check out this Kickstarter after the video. Now I'm going to toss it over to Julie, who's going to tell you more about the game itself.
So it is a cooperative card game, I guess you'd call it.
Card and dice game.
Yeah. For ages 14 and above, it's for 1 to 4 players and plays in 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk about the
I'm
age
just
range.
telling you what's on the box.
Yes. And this is a review copy, well, preview copy of the game. So we did not pay for this. But as always, our thoughts are our own. That was a lot of O's there, wasn't it?
Yes, but thank you for thinking of Dice and Dragons for the Kickstarter preview.
Yes, and we do love our cooperative games. So what will you be doing in Cosmic Voyage while your ship is stranded in deep space? You will need to complete different missions, some to repair the ship, some to heal yourself, others to advance you towards your goal of escaping this dangerous area of space by advancing the track. Once you have successfully advanced it 8 times, you will have completed the game. There will also be some hazards that show up and maybe even some fortuitous situations. To do all of this, you will be rolling dice. You have an action die, a D8, and an effort die, a D6. And you must get the minimum value that is listed on the mission cards, which you'll see in just a moment when we go to the components in order to gain the rewards. But if you fail, you will suffer the harsh penalties. There are also some special events like black holes, solar storms, and even wormholes that may make your life easier or a lot harder than it needs to be. Did I miss anything at all, Julie?
I think you covered it.
Yeah, so you'll be discovering cards and going on missions. That about sums it up. So what time is it?
I think it's time to grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend and fellow crewmate, shipmate.
We're going to take it to the table one more time.
One more time. Let's escape deep space. Now we're going to take a look at the components for Cosmic Voyage by Savania Games. Now this is an early prototype, so there will be some differences in terms of what is currently available on the Kickstarter. We will start with the rulebook. So we've got a nice rulebook here. It is well laid out, but this is the first run of it. There were a couple terms that I found that were not included. However, after a quick look at the Kickstarter page, clearly most of those concerns have been addressed, and it's very easy to learn the game. And you've got this nice FAQ, and all your questions are pretty much answered in here. We've got the 3 reference cards, so just one for the game turn order, the discovery phase and exploration phase. Then has a nice reference for, rewards and penalties. And you see we got 2 of these. Then we have the references for the in-game events, which is just double-sided. So you've got the rules for black holes, solar storms, and wormholes. Now those are the event cards that are here, as you can see, black hole, wormhole, solar storm. They are part of the discovery deck, which we'll talk about in a moment. And since we took a look at them, you will also find hazards, which are negatives, but may have some rolls that aren't all that bad for you there. And then you've got advantages that you may find as well in this discovery deck. So since we're talking about it, let's take a look at it right now and draw a few cards off the top. So in the discovery deck, you'll have missions for each of the different characters. As you can see, we'll look at that at the same time. So we have an engineering officer with an asymmetric ability, a tactical officer, science officer, and medical officer. Now each of those abilities you can use once per turn. You may also gain a bonus die that you can roll, and you may be injured, forcing you to skip a turn. Now these missions, the top part of the mission, the primary mission, may only be performed by the corresponding character. If you happen to end up with one of these missions, any character can perform the secondary mission. There are also some missions that are dual, meaning the primary can be performed by either the tactical or the engineering, or in this case, it would be the medical mission or tactical or engineering officer, the medical or science officer. So that's what makes up the discovery deck. Here we've got our tracker just for our progress to get back home, our shields and our energy. We've got, some corresponding cubes, a blue cube, orange cube, a green cube. These green cubes also represent the character's health. Then we just have some red cubes, which will go on different things like the black hole that we may need to resolve in order to complete the event. Now we've got the bonus tokens and the injury tokens right here, just to remind you of your status. Here we've got the wormhole event cards. So these are just like the other events. However, you have to have gone through a wormhole and they're only in play in those conditions. And then we've got the item deck, which has a lot of different helpful things that you can do, like reroute all power. So you can restore your shields, get +1 to your reroll, restore 2 shield points, add 3 to either your action or effort roll. So lots of good stuff for your characters in the item deck. And then we've got the different dice, the action die being the D8 and your effort die being the D6, which you'll be rolling every turn and trying to match up with the corresponding numbers. That's the minimum that you need to get on each die. And we then have the bonus die, which if you roll it, you can take that value. So let's say I roll a 5. I could split it between these two to make sure that I pass the event that I'm trying to do. Now, one thing you may have noticed on the Kickstarter, there was a long and short version of the game. We only have the card with the long version because of the prototype that we have. We're going to be discussing the game length and a few other things in just a moment as we get to our preview of Cosmic Voyage. So keep it right here. We'll be back at warp speed. So Julie, what did you think of Cosmic Voyage by Savania Games? Now, I just want to do our preface. I always do this after I introduce you. I'm not sure why. This is a Kickstarter preview, so we will not be giving a score to this game, but we'll be discussing at the end of this why you should back the game or maybe why you should pass on it because it may not be for you. But give us your thoughts. I really want to hear it.
Okay.
I'll hear them. And, you've got more than one thought in there, right?
Talk, talk, talk. It's pretty empty. No. Anyways, this is definitely a lighter game, I would say. It's definitely on the easier scale. I think the first thing I would say is that I think that the age range is, I'm not sure why it's 14. I think it definitely could be played with younger players. I would say probably around 8 years old. I mean, it's fairly simple. You're rolling dice and you have to hit the minimum objective on it. So it's...
Yeah. The more complicated things you'll be doing is based on the choice, which crew member will be taking on which mission, how to execute then your special abilities to make sure that you are doing what you need to do. But you can definitely play this with a younger crowd. I think that it's due to the components. A lot of game companies, when you've got like really small tokens that can be choking hazards and things like that, they just boost the age range because it just, it makes things a lot simpler for selling the game.
I've never met a 7-year-old who eats tokens, but that's just me.
I don't know. There may be someone out there. Hey, if your 7-year-old happened to eat some tokens, feel free to let us know down below in the video description comment section.
Okay, so I think it's definitely an easy game. It's pretty fast.
Easy in terms of what you're going to be doing in the game.
Yes, well, and also I would say it's not complicated to win. I guess I found that there were turns, maybe it's because we're just playing 2 players, but there were turns that were kind of like, okay, well, this is not going to advance our cause for either of us this time because it's not advancing the track and we hadn't been damaged, so we're not really getting anything. We're just trying to prevent damage from happening to ourselves.
Yeah, that I have to agree with you there. That was definitely the biggest weakness of the game for me, and I get the feeling like we were rolling fairly well. I did not see too many 3s on our dice, so I do feel like there is a high randomness in the game where every mission could be valuable if you're getting good roll, bad roll, good roll, bad roll. But if you're getting solid, good to middle of the road rolls, about the midpoint of the game, or if you're just not getting the ability to progress towards completion, it feels like you're kind of spinning your heels. And you are required to take a mission or go to the medical bay and lower energy, but you have to do one of those two options on your turn. So there were definitely some turns where I felt like, why am I doing this mission? And in some cases, the penalty was lose an item, and I don't have an item to lose, so why would I even bother rolling? And that was definitely a real weakness of the game. And I think that only happened after we'd really cleared the halfway point of this. Now, this is a prototype, so if you saw the components and didn't skip ahead to our thoughts here, they've made some changes in the Kickstarter. There's now a shorter version of the game. I get the feeling that would be how I would play it. And I know we don't have that card, but I'm going to just see what the stats are. And when this does get back to the table, we're going to stick to the shorter version. I don't really have any interest in going back to the longer version because I just feel like we kind of went around the circles.
At 2 players. I mean, it might be different at a higher player count.
It's not going to be different at a higher player count. I'd love to give it the benefit of the doubt for the higher player count, but the choices and what you're doing are going to be the same. It's all going to depend on the die rolls. We could have a lot of terrible rolls at a 2-player game and everything could all of a sudden become very meaningful. And we need to play that longer game to potentially survive and build back up the ship. I really like the items in the game. I like what they do. I like the idea of the wormhole. I love the black holes, the hazard. Everything is thematic, and it also has a little dressing of Star Trek with the tactical and engineering officer. And that really just brings me into it. And there's clearly a lot of time spent on the flavor text to draw you into like the world and get you immersed. I just found that the action of rolling 2 dice really leaves a lot up. You know, it's more in the realm of chance if you're getting an easy game or a difficult game. There's really not that much skill involved.
I definitely agree that the shorter game would probably be more up our alley because it would get played more often as something, you know, like, oh, let's just play a quick game. You know, we have time tonight. That's on the shorter side instead of, you know, pulling out a game that's, you know, maybe that's 45 minutes to an hour like this.
Well, I want to say straight up, the 45 minutes an hour, unless you're having a really tough time, like we didn't even come close to that. If we'd been playing a shorter game, I think we would have come in around the 15 to 20 minute mark, which is less than the 30 minutes that the shorter games listen at. This longer game with us, and it could just be that we play a lot of co-op, so Julie and I are just going bang, 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 bang. We're far closer to the 30 to 40 minute mark, definitely to get through this game.
So I think I would say my thoughts on this would be, you know, if you enjoy the theme of, you know, outer space, you know, with a little, as Jason said, Star Trek flavor, you like rolling dice, you like a co-op game, I think, and you like a lighter game, I think you'll enjoy this game. It's definitely not a brain burner. It's easy to pick up, and you can probably play it with just about anybody.
Yeah, and I agree with Julie. This is definitely a lighter game. There is some complexity to it. You really want to maximize your decisions and use your special abilities to the best of your abilities. Yes, I did that on purpose. And you're going to have some fun with this game. I really just found that the longer game tends to overstay its welcome. We were really into it early on, and then quickly we were just kind of like, well, when is this going to be over? So I really like what I'm seeing from the updated version. You got even more roles and more classes to play, so you're going to get a little bit more variety. So the newer version definitely has my interest peaked even more, and I think you're going to get a solid value when it comes to getting a starter game or a filler, not to say filler game, but something to start game night. So should you back this game? As Julie mentioned, if you like dice games, if you like fast-paced games, if you like games that are easy to teach and easy to learn, then I would suggest you pick this up. And in terms of theming, I'll let you reiterate.
It's outer space with a flavor of Star Trek.
Yeah, and when you should not back this game, if lighter games just aren't for you, you're looking for something that has got like deep, complex decisions. You still have to make meaningful decisions, but there's really not a lot of depth. This game is definitely something that is going to, you're going to have a nice flow, play quickly. But if you're looking for that deep, 2-3 hour game night experience, or even a real crunchy hour, I don't think this one's for you. And on that note, Julie, it's time to
remind everybody to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we have some new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. You can find links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, if you'd like to see pictures of Julie and I playing Cosmic Voyage, there'll be plenty of those pictures on those feeds. If you're looking to pick up some other games, some other light dice games like this one, click our link down in the video description to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store, and it's a great way for you to support the channel. That link will get you 10% off, and a portion of your purchase is returned to us, so make sure to check them out. And then popping up in front of us are going to be links to some of our previously released videos. In front of me will be our most recent release, and since we got a dice game with a theme of Star Trek, we'll have our review and how to play of Star Trek 5-Year Mission from Mayday Games. It's out of print now, so if you can find it and you're a Star Trek fan, you may want to take a look for that one.
So now it's time to grab our drinks.
Grab our best friend and fellow crewmate or former crewmate, I'm not sure right now.
And we're gonna keep playing games.
Keep playing games.